This is Miss Alice, and today I want to talk about something that is happening to an entire generation of women right now. Something that is being discussed everywhere, except in the places where it would actually help the women living inside it. Women who did everything right, who followed every piece of advice society gave them, who got the degrees and built the careers and established the independence they were told was the foundation of a good life, who were smart and disciplined and strategic about every decision they made, and who looked up one day in their late 30s and realized that the family they always assumed would happen later was not going to happen. Not because they chose against it, because they believed they had more time than biology actually provides. I am a woman, and I am going to say something that most women in my position avoid saying because it is uncomfortable and because it points at something the culture spent decades refusing to acknowledge. We were not told the truth about our fertility window, and the consequences of that silence are sitting in the lives of millions of women right now in ways that no career achievement and no amount of independence can resolve. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, not to assign blame, not to attack anyone, but because the truth that could have helped a generation of women at 22 is the truth that might still help the women who are 22 right now. And that truth deserves to be said clearly. Even when saying it, it clearly makes people uncomfortable. The first thing you need to understand is what nobody told you about your biology. Female fertility has a window, a specific, biological, non-negotiable window that peaks in your late teens and early 20s and declines progressively after that. This is not opinion. It is not social construction. It is medical reality based on decades of data that was available to everyone who was advising women about their lives. You are born with all the eggs you will ever have. They do not regenerate. They age with you. Every year that passes is a year your eggs are also passing through. And aged eggs carry risks that younger eggs do not. Difficulty conceiving, higher rates of miscarriage, increased chromosomal complications, pregnancy risks that rise with each year past 35. The optimal fertility window, the years when conception is most reliable, pregnancy is safest, and outcomes for both mother and child are best, is roughly 18 to 30. After 30, the decline begins, gradually at first. Then, after 35, the acceleration is significant. After 40, natural conception becomes statistically unlikely for most women without medical intervention that is expensive and does not guarantee success. This is the biological reality. And here's what makes this so significant. This information was not hidden. It was available. The women and the institutions advising young women about their lives had access to it. And they chose not to make it central to the conversation. They chose instead to tell women that biology was flexible. That later was always available. That career came first, and family would follow naturally whenever the woman decided she was ready. She is ready now. And for too many women, the biology is not. The second thing you need to understand is how the timeline actually works. Because the trap is in the details. A young woman graduates college at 22. She is told that focusing on relationships now is a distraction from her professional development. She has time for that later, so she focuses on her career. At 24 or 25, she pursues a graduate degree, more education, more development, still told that family can wait, that establishing herself professionally first is the intelligent choice. At 27, she enters her professional field in earnest. She is building her resume, gaining experience, dating but not seriously because she is not ready to limit her options geographically or professionally. She has time. At 30, she is finally getting the positions that require 5 years of experience to qualify for. The real jobs, the ones with genuine responsibility and compensation that reflects the decades she spent building toward them. And she starts to think seriously about relationships and family. And here is where the trap closes. The men her age who wanted families, who were ready for commitment, who had the qualities she was looking for. They did not wait. They found women who were ready earlier, who made family a priority during the years she was prioritizing career. They are married. Their families are already forming. What remains in the dating pool at 30 is a significantly different landscape from what was available at 25. And the fertility window that felt infinite at 22 is now noticeably smaller. She starts to feel urgency, biological urgency that arrives with a specificity and an insistence that nothing she was told prepared her for. Every pregnancy announcement from people her age lands differently than it did before. The urgency makes dating harder because urgency is visible. Men sense it, and urgency changes the dynamic of every early interaction in ways that work against her. 33 becomes 36. 36 becomes 38. And the window that was supposed to be open whenever she was ready has been closing the entire time she was waiting to be ready. This is not a story about failure. It is a story about a timeline that was real and specific and biological, and that nobody made central to the conversation when it would have mattered most. At 22, not at 38. The third thing you need to understand is why this happened at the scale it did. Women were sold a promise. The promise sounded like liberation. It sounded like finally being given permission to be fully themselves without the limitation of biological timelines that previous generations had been bound by. The promise said, you can have everything: career and family, independence and partnership, professional achievement and motherhood, just not all at the same time. Career first, family later. You have time. That promise was built on a foundation that does not exist in biology. Biology does not restructure itself around career timelines. Biology does not extend the fertility window because the professional establishment phase ran longer than expected. Biology does not care about degrees earned or positions achieved or the specific sequence of life decisions that led to 38 being the moment when a woman finally felt ready. Biology simply continues on its own schedule, independent of the schedule she was told she could impose on it. And the women who followed the promise and discovered too late that the promise was built on a biological impossibility are not women who made foolish choices. They made the choices they were advised to make by institutions and cultures and messaging that had every reason to keep them productive and consuming and professionally focused, and no particular investment in whether they reached the family they assumed was waiting for them. The grief these women carry is real. The anger at having been misled is justified. And the silence about the specific way they were misled continues to harm the women who are 22 right now, and who are receiving the same advice that produced the consequences the previous generation is living with. The fourth thing you need to understand is what the male side of this dynamic looks like. Because the story does not belong entirely to women. Men watched what happened to the generation before them. They watched fathers and brothers and friends build marriages in good faith and lose everything when those marriages ended. They watched a legal and financial system designed to extract maximum resources from them, regardless of who ended the marriage or why. They did the calculation that rational people do when the risk of an action consistently exceeds the benefit. They stepped back. The men who would have been reliable husbands and committed fathers. The men who had the qualities that made them genuinely desirable partners. Those men looked at the available arrangement and decided the arrangement was not worth the risk. Some married younger women who had demonstrated that family was their priority. Women who did not require a decade of professional establishment before they were willing to commit. Women whose availability at 24 and 25 and 26 was something those men could plan a life around. Some stayed single, not bitterly, by genuine choice, having discovered that the peace and autonomy of a life they controlled entirely was significantly better than the legal and financial exposure of a marriage that could end at any point on terms heavily weighted against them. The result of both of those decisions is a dating landscape for women in their 30s and 40s that looks nothing like the landscape that was available to them a decade earlier. The men she wanted are no longer available for the terms she is now offering, and the urgency that arrived with the biological timeline has not made the landscape more favorable. It has made it less favorable because urgency compresses the time available for genuine connection, and genuine connection does not compress well. This is the full picture, not just female biology and career timelines. The simultaneous male withdrawal from the commitment that the female timeline was assuming would still be available when she was finally ready. Both things happened at once, and the women caught between them are carrying the consequences of forces they were never adequately warned about. The fifth thing you need to understand is what this means for women who are still in the window. If you are in your 20s and family matters to you, if having children is something you genuinely want and not just a vague future intention, this is the conversation you needed to have at the beginning of your adult life and that nobody made central enough for you to take it seriously. Your fertility window is real. It is specific, it is biological, and it does not wait for you to finish the other things. This does not mean you cannot have a career. It means you cannot optimize career and family simultaneously without something giving. The choice about which something gives is yours to make, but it is a choice, and it needs to be made consciously rather than deferred until the window has closed around you without your full awareness of what was happening. The women who understood this early enough made different decisions than the women who trusted the promise that later would always be available. They chose partners during the years when choosing well was possible. They built families during the years when biology was most cooperative. They made the professional trade-offs that those choices required with clear eyes about what they were trading and why. They are not living smaller lives. They are living the lives they actually chose, rather than the lives that resulted from a sequence of individually reasonable decisions whose cumulative effect they never fully anticipated. The choice is not career or family. It is about the sequence and the timing. And the timing is biological, not cultural, not negotiable, not something that waits for career readiness or emotional readiness or any other form of readiness that exists on a timeline other than the biological one. The window is real. Use it with intention. Not because society tells you how, because you decided what you actually want and made the choices that give it a genuine chance of happening. That is not limitation. That is the most important form of self-determination available to a woman who is honest with herself about what she wants her life to contain. Here's what I want every woman watching this to take away. The grief of the women who followed the promise and discovered too late that the promise was built on a biological impossibility is not a cautionary tale about ambition or education or independence. It is a cautionary tale about information withheld at the moment when it would have mattered most. You deserved the full truth about your biology, about the timeline, about the trade-offs that are real and the trade-offs that are negotiable, and the difference between them. You deserve to make your choices with complete information rather than with the edited version that served everyone's interests except yours. This is that information. Late for some, not yet late for others. The women who receive it clearly enough to act on it will make different choices than the women who received the promise and discovered only afterward what the promise was built on. And the life that results from a choice made with full information is always better than the life that results from a choice made with the version of reality that was most convenient for everyone except the person making it. You deserve the truth. You have it now. What you do with it is yours. I want to hear from every side of this conversation. Women who followed the timeline and found the family they wanted. Women who followed the promise and discovered what the promise was built on. Women who are in the window right now and hearing this for the first time. Tell me in the comments, because the women who need to hear the truth about this are reading those comments right now. And your experience told honestly is the most powerful thing available to reach them. And for the men watching this, if you are in your 30s or 40s and a woman is suddenly ready for everything she was not ready for a decade ago, you now understand what produced that readiness. Use that understanding with clear eyes. This is Miss Alice, and I will be back with more of what nobody else will say. Subscribe if you are ready to keep hearing it.